there's going to be a stark difference between this low area and then a wall of stone, if you will, and then the raised or terraced area of substrate, where I'll add more dwarf hair grass and microsword all growing along the back and in this upper area. And then I think that I'll add some stem plants behind the Java fern so that this is a more, I'm trying to point this out without blocking everything, but so that this area has a lot more growth in it. And then, again, micro sword and dwarf hair grass all along the back and in this area, leaving this area totally cleared out, and then I'll put in some fine black sand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to gravel back the foreground substrate again and continue to move it to the back and build it up in the back. Alright, 24 hours since the hardscape rearrangement was started, and we've got clear water, we've got all our rocks and substrate and wood where we want, so the hardscape is pretty much done. I just need to add the sand in the foreground next. So I think this already looks a lot better. It's got a lot of, much more dynamic appearance to it with the built up height of the substrate in the back. I think when the dwarf hair grass really starts to grow in, it's going to look awesome. And now I just need to add the black sand to the foreground, and that's what we'll do next. Before I put the sand in the aquarium, I wanted to share an ingenious trick that I found on YouTube. There's a couple videos out there that show how to do this, but I'm going to show you in case you haven't seen it, because it's really worth knowing. When you have several 20-pound bags of sand and you're trying to put them in an aquarium that's already full of water, you have to rinse the sand, you have to find a way to put the sand in the aquarium in the right spots without making a huge mess. And what this is going to do is show you how to do the rinsing and the specific placement of the sand all at once. And it uses the basic principle of displacement. So what we're going to do is basically fill this bottle with sand, and then what happens is you take that full bottle of sand with the cap on it, you lower it down into the aquarium, and then you remove the cap. As the sand begins to pour out of the bottle, you're able to control where it's going very easily. But even more importantly, as the sand is leaving the bottle, the water is rushing into the bottle to displace that sand. And when that happens, that water's rinsing the sand, and all that dirty rinse water ends up in the bottle. So when the bottle is empty and you're ready to remove it from the aquarium, you just put the cap back on and remove it, and now you've got the dirty, dusty water, and you can pour that out, fill it back up with sand, and start again. That eliminates a whole lot of steps and a whole lot of trouble, and I hope you find that useful. The easiest way to get the sand into the bottle is obviously by using a funnel, and you put the funnel in the bottle, you pour the sand in the funnel, and it's that, you know how to do that. It only took a few minutes to put the black sand in, and as you can see, the water is not cloudy. I think it's looking pretty good so far. I think that the pygmy corys and the discus are going to like that fine black sand in the foreground much better than they like the glosso. And now it's just a matter of waiting on this dwarf hairgrass. It should grow about this tall, and it should fill in this area really nicely. Same thing over here with the dwarf hairgrass, and then I've got some micro sword planted inside these crevices here, and we'll see how that kind of turns out. I have a tiger lily bulb coming in that I'm going to plant right here in this little crevice and have it growing out. I think it'll be a nice red accent. And finally, some alternanthia reinecki that is going to be growing out from behind the bogwood and the java fern in this area here. So that'll be a nice big red stem plant. And so we'll just kind of see how this thing looks as it progresses and matures. And this is the Re-scape as it stands today. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you. I've always been kind of a planted tank guy and had that sort of mentality and approach when doing new aquariums. You done? You done? Okay. So I've always been kind of a planted tank guy. Hey, I'm gonna have to ask you to knock it off, okay? Why don't you just lay down? Lay down and be good.